You know that feeling when someone goes from royal fairy tale to full-blown Hollywood chaos? Well, buckle up, because Meghan Markle's dream Netflix deal is unraveling faster than anyone could have imagined. What was supposed to be her big moment, a powerful pivot from Duchess to media mogul, is now turning into an absolute disaster, and Netflix, oh, they are freaking out behind closed doors. Let's rewind. When Meghan inked that shiny multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix, the world watched with curiosity. She was stepping into the entertainment spotlight not just as a celebrity but as a content queen. The plan, a feel-good docu-series called With Love. Meghan think yoga, wellness, female empowerment, the usual royal turned Hollywood glow-up, but behind the carefully crafted brand was something much messier. It all came crashing down when producers noticed something very off in her second season. There was a cooking segment, harmless, right, except it looked way too familiar. Like scene 4 scene familiar. Someone flagged it, and soon enough jaws dropped across the Netflix offices. Meghan's team had practically copied a full episode of Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. No, not just the concept, whole lines, dramatic confrontations, even the "you're the head chef" moment straight from Ramsay's iconic season 1. You cannot make this up. Netflix was mortified. Executives like Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters scrambled into emergency meetings. These two usually clash behind the scenes, but this time they were united in pure panic. How did this make it into post-production? How had Meghan, with her creative control and high expectations, let this happen? The cooking episode was immediately scrapped, yanked from every version of the show. But here's the twist: they didn't hand Meghan a new script. Nope, they told her to improvise. That's right, Netflix wanted her to wing it, a docu-reality show with no script. That's like throwing someone off a cliff and yelling, "Grow wings." And of course Meghan did not take this well. She exploded during internal calls, defending the segment like it was her crown jewel, her spin. The show wasn't a rip-off because she had changed the setting and made the winner cook for a fictional charity event. Nice try, but Netflix wasn't buying it. Oh, and while Meghan was going on about creativity, Netflix was doing damage control hard. They reached out to Gordon Ramsay's team in full panic mode, not just to apologize, but to assure them they were handling it internally. But guess what? Ramsay was furious. Sources say he felt violated. His pacing, his confrontational style, his iconic energy. Meghan had mimicked it so perfectly it felt like a parody wearing designer shoes. And it got worse. Once Ramsay's people started poking around, Netflix went full investigation mode. Turns out the plagiarism didn't stop at Hell's Kitchen. Bits from Rachel Ray's show, check vibes from the Kardashians. Oh yes, even scenes straight out of old school Food Network competitions. Meghan's original series was a mashup of borrowed ideas stitched together into what one exec called a Frankenstein production. But Meghan, she brushed it off, said all creators borrow a little, except Netflix found lines copied word for word. That's not inspiration, that's lifting dialogue. Like your Control-C Control-V from cable TV. Then came the final nail test. Audiences. Netflix let a few viewers preview the upcoming episodes, and their reactions brutal. People instantly noticed the similarities. Some even joked Meghan had spent a weekend binge watching Food Network and then hit record. The biggest red flag wasn't even the quality, it was the deception. Fans felt lied to, and Netflix, they could see trust slipping through their fingers. But Meghan wasn't backing down. She still believed she had done nothing wrong. She called it internal drama and insisted it would blow over, except it didn't. It kept growing fast. Finally Ted Sarandos made The call Meghan dreaded, everything copied, was being deleted permanently, no edits. No rewrites, no compromises. Meghan begged. Offered to reshoot the episode with new dialogue, but Netflix had already lost faith, and worse, Meghan still had creative control. She could technically approve or reject edits, but after this mess her power meant nothing behind the scenes. Netflix was stripping her influence. Piece by piece they brought in new producers, assigned legal monitors to every shoot, rewrites passed through copyright filters. Every second of footage was watched like a hawk was perched on the screen. Meghan was still in the show, sure, but her presence behind the scenes was being silenced, and while Netflix scrambled to fix the sinking ship, their other problem loomed large. The timing. The platform was already in hot water with viewers' price hikes, cancelled fan favorites, competition from HBO Max and Peacock biting at their heels. The last thing they needed was a Meghan Markle scandal dragging them down further, and yet here they were caught in a legal and creative storm of Meghan's making. As the damage spiraled, the panic at Netflix turned into full-on strategy mode. Legal teams combed through every inch of with love, Meghan looking for anything that could blow up in their faces next, and oh boy, they found more than just a few red flags. The deeper they dug, the more it looked like Meghan hadn't just made a mistake, she had built an entire season out of borrowed content. A bit from Rachel Ray here, a visual cue straight from Keeping Up with the Kardashians, a challenge that looked suspiciously like a chopped rerun. Meghan had essentially created a glittery, high-budget remix and sold it as her own. When asked about it, Meghan shrugged. She called it creative inspiration, claiming everyone pulls ideas from somewhere, but Netflix wasn't laughing, especially not when audience feedback started pouring in. Viewers were livid. They didn't just criticize the show, they called it lazy. Some fans even created side-by-side comparison videos that went viral on TikTok, showing Meghan's scenes next to the originals. Millions watched, and the verdict: Meghan hadn't been inspired, she'd copied. Still, Meghan dug her heels in. She refused to believe she had done anything truly wrong. She even tried micromanaging the reshoots, demanding daily footage reviews, inserting herself in every edit meeting, calling late-night emergency calls that most people skipped. She was spiraling, and everyone could see it. Insiders say the production turned into a circus with no real script. Scenes dragged on aimlessly. Cast members were told to follow Meghan's lead, but with no structure. Footage became a mess of rambling conversations and awkward moments. Editors behind the scenes described their job as building a house out of fog. Scenes were stitched together frantically, trying to create a storyline where none existed. Worse, people on set were burning out. Background actors stopped showing up. Crew members walked off. The atmosphere shifted from excited and hopeful to bitter and drained. Meghan, once the show's heart, had become its burden. Some whispered she was paranoid. Others said she acted like nothing was wrong. Either way, morale was at rock bottom. Meanwhile, at the top of Netflix, decisions were being made quietly. Executives began drafting an exit strategy. They couldn't just pull the plug, not without creating a media firestorm. A Meghan Markle show disappearing overnight that would light up every gossip blog and Twitter feed in